Well, it's springtime, my favorite time of year to be out bass fishing. Pre-spawn bass fishing is always hot, and in this episode we're going to talk about the depths we should focus on to be in the hot zone to catch those big, giant springtime bass. Stay tuned. Shane Flynn Outdoors, brought to you by Omnia Fishing. Experience the most personalized tackle shopping on earth. And by MMA Fishing. Fight the bite. And by Lead Time Batteries, the ultimate power solution for your boating needs. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! What a big girl! Well, we're out mid-March here in Virginia. Water temperature is 50 degrees. Great temperature for pre-spawn bass. We're going to be talking today about depth and location and a little bit about boat control on where we're catching these bass. Let's get right to the action. Come on, Mama. Oh yeah, how about a 4-pounder? Ah, she's on about 3 pounds. Skinny. About a 3-pounder there. Not gonna complain about that though. Nice bass. 18-inch 3-pounder. Coming off that point, which I figured I'd catch one there. Thank you, ma'am. So I am fishing a spinnerbait today, same color as I was last time. I was fishing a chatterbait for the longest time. I got no bites on a chatterbait, white and green pumpkin with a white trailer. Might try it again a little bit, but this is the bait that I caught them on last week. We'll see if it continues. That's the third bass of the day. The other ones were small, but just got to fish them. I am on the opposite side of the lake because the wind is blowing the opposite direction as of last week. Now the rain subsided, but the wind picked up, which is good for me. I like the wind, as you all know. So let's take a quick look at where I caught that bass. As you can see from the illustration here, that bass was set up off a small secondary point, that little bitty bump on the bank there, in about 6 to 8 foot of water. And I drug my spinnerbait across there and picked him up. Now I mentioned that the wind direction is behind my back and going down the cove, and my boat direction I'm trying to keep in the center of the cove. And what that allows me to do is keep the boat position where I can fan cast across that secondary point and hit the depths that I want to hit with my spinnerbait. This time of year, I'm going to be fishing 4 to 10 foot of water. That's where the bigger bass hang out in my experience when the water temperature is in the low 50s. So keeping your boat in a position where you can be across that secondary point or across the underwater structure that you know about, stumps, logs, rocks, etc., that those bass will be hanging out in, will help you be more successful for pre-spawn bass fishing. Let's get back to the action. Solid. Feels like a solid anyway. Oh yeah. Might be a net getter. Yeah, she's a net getter. Come on in here, big mama. Oh, I've been waiting all day on you, girl. Nice. Been waiting on that one. So I'm pretty pumped to get this nice 5.5 pounder into the boat. Now, if you notice there, I was going parallel to the bank when I caught this fish. Now, the wind's not blowing hard, so it allows me to keep my boat in that 8 to 10 foot of water and focus on keeping my lure in the 4 to 8 foot depth range for fishing. By going parallel to the bank, I can stay in that zone a lot longer. So if you have the opportunity to go parallel to the bank and not have to fight the wind and keep your lure in the strike zone where those pre-spawn bass are hanging out, can help you be very successful during springtime bass fishing. Now we'll get this nice fish weighed up and measured up, and we'll get them back in the water and get back to some fishing action. 5.5 pounds. Nice 5.5 pounds. Look how fat she is. Got a little black on her fins. Nice 5.5 pound bass. Can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. Whoa. I just missed a giant. I seen him turn, I seen his side really wide. Unless it was a pickle. Could have been a pickle. Now, I highlighted that miss for a reason. That was the third time I'd thrown against this wind-blown bank and had a strike but didn't come out with a bass. It's not uncommon in the spring. About a year ago, I had a bass strike at my lure 3 times before I got him, and it ended up being an 8-pound bass. You have to be persistent in the spring and throw back in, and you'll finally get a hookup like I do here. That's not big. Come on, big boy. All right. Oh, yeah, right about a 3-pounder. Thank you, mister. Right up there in the ambush spot. 2 3/4, 3 pound. Nice 19-inch bass. 18.5-inch bass. Thank you, mister. So as you can see here, I'm starting to move into a back of a small cove. Now, small coves can be a real hot zone for pre-spawn bass, especially if they have 2 primary ingredients going for them. One, if you got some depth in these coves. This one's about 12 foot deep where the boat's setting. And if the wind is blowing into the back of these coves, it starts to make a natural funnel for bass to get back and chase bait fish around. And when I see these ingredients, I fish these coves very thorough, from the mid depths up to the shallows when I see the wind blowing into the back. And you never know, you gotta be persistent, but fishing these coves very thorough will pay off, like it does for me right here. There you go. Right on the bank, too. Where you going, where you going? Where you going? Probably be shooting a boat collecting 4-pounders like that. Solid 4-pounder there, folks. I mean, she was right up there like she was gonna go spawning. Nice bass. Good solid 4-pounder. At least a 20-inch bass. Let's look. Yep, right at 20 inches. Yeah, probably 4.5. I'm not gonna weigh her. Just a good looking solid bass right up there in the shallow water. Real shallow. All right, thank you, Mr. Bass. I love this cove. I've caught a lot of bass out of this cove. A lot of bass out of this cove in my time. Look at that. Another one. I mean, in a foot of water, only about 1.5 pounds, if that. Come on, big guy. Well, folks, that's actually the 4th bass I caught out of that one little cove. After I caught that 4-pounder, I hit spot lock and didn't take it off and fished that cove for about 5-7 minutes and caught 3 more bass, about pound, pound and a quarter. Nothing big, but just goes to show when you see a little cove like that with some depth and the wind blowing into it in the spring, it can be a real hot zone to catch some pre-spawn bass. Well, folks, I hope you got a few tips out of this episode. You know, focus on 4, 6, 8 foot of water, not just pound the bank for those spring bass, especially pre-spawn, because those big ones are out there, and sometimes they might be right under your boat if you're fishing too close to the bank. So get out there and explore a little bit, and I hope you catch a giant. Now, this episode was filmed March 16th of 2024. A lot of you might know I've got a broken leg right now, so I can't get out and fish. A little dangerous to be on the front of the boat with one leg right now, but I'll get out there pretty soon. We do have a lot of content still coming out, and we got the Southern Big Bass Tournament. All you anglers out there, good luck if you're fishing that, and we'll have some lives with some updates on who's winning the Southern Big Bass Tournament here in the near future. So until next time, folks, tight lines and have fun fishing.